up for an intriguing exploration. Today, we are diving into the fascinating world of Idi Amin and his stint in Saudi Arabia. Ever wondered about Jeddah, Idi Amin's meals, or his life in exile? We've got the scoop on Idi Amin's time in Saudi Arabia, from his daily routine to the reasons behind his relocation. Stick around to the end as we unravel the mysteries surrounding Idi Amin's stay in Saudi Arabia. It's a deep dive into the lesser-known facets of this historical figure. Don't miss out. Let's dive into the intriguing story. We will explain some topics below. Idi Amin in Saudi Arabia was a topic of curiosity among many. People often wondered about Idi Amin eating habits, Idi Amin's last photos, and Idi Amin religion. The circumstances surrounding Idi Amin's funeral and Idi Amin exile in Saudi Arabia intrigued historians and the public alike. One question that frequently arose was, why did Idi Amin go to Saudi Arabia? His time in exile raised numerous questions and sparked discussions about his life and legacy. Last days, Idi Amin Saudi Arabia. Idi Amin, whose full title was His Excellency President for Life, Field Marshal Al-Haji Dr. Idi Amin Dada, VC, DSO, MC, Lord of all the beasts of the earth and fishes of the seas and conqueror of the British Empire in Africa in general and Uganda in particular, was one of the most notorious dictators in African history. Born in Uganda, he rose through the ranks of the military and eventually seized power in a coup d'etat in 1971, overthrowing the government of Milton Obote. Brutality, human rights abuses, and widespread corruption marked Amin's regime. He ruled Uganda with an iron fist, using violence and intimidation to maintain his grip on power. Countless people were tortured, murdered, or disappeared under his regime, earning him the nickname Butcher of Uganda. Despite his ruthless reputation, Amin's eccentricities often made him the subject of ridicule. He was known for his outlandish speeches, erratic behavior, and grandiose self-image. Amin fancied himself as a larger-than-life figure, often dressing in military regalia and bestowing upon himself numerous titles and honors. One of the most infamous incidents of Amin's rule was the expulsion of Uganda's Asian population in 1972, which led to economic chaos and widespread suffering. Amin's actions drew condemnation from the international community, but he remained defiant, even declaring himself the last king of Scotland, in reference to the movie of the same name. In 1979, Amin's regime finally collapsed after a coalition of Ugandan exiles and Tanzanian forces invaded the country. He fled into exile, eventually settling in Saudi Arabia, where he lived until his death in 2003. Despite his reign of terror, Amin's legacy continues to fascinate and horrify people around the world. His life story has been the subject of numerous documentaries, movies, and books exploring the depths of human cruelty and the consequences of unchecked power. Saudi asylum. Under these rules, the Saudis were obligated to offer asylum to Idi Amin, the former Ugandan dictator known for his brutal regime. However, when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait, a fellow Arab country, the Saudis condemned him as an enemy of God and made it clear that he would face execution if he ever fell into their hands. It's interesting to note that the Saudis once considered Saddam a brother and even gave him billions of dollars to fight against Iran, a non-Arab nation. But his decision to attack a fellow Arab country changed everything. It's a stark contrast to Amin, who was always politically correct when it came to Arab-Israeli relations. In fact, the Saudis were not unhappy when Amin led other African nations in breaking relations with Israel. He even promised to build a statue of Adolf Hitler. What Idi Amin neighbors said about him, arriving in the country as a political refugee in the mid-1980s, the former ruler found solace after years spent in Libya and Iraq following his overthrow by Tanzanian troops and Ugandan rebels in 1979. Living in near anonymity, scant details emerged about his life, family, and finances. Jeddah locals whispered of Idi Amin's residence, a villa graciously provided by the Saudi government in the upscale Al Hamra district, offering panoramic views of the Red Sea. Under political asylum, Riyadh extended a monthly stipend to the former leader, while some of his children secured modest jobs. Despite rarely granting interviews to the Saudi press, Amin spoke candidly to Uganda's Sunday Vision. Professing contentment with Islam as his guiding light amidst the tumult of his past, Idi Amin hate for Uganda media to retaliate against the Ugandan media's dissemination of false claims alleging his consumption of dozens of oranges daily to boost his power in the bedroom. He adamantly refuses to be photographed. Engaging endlessly in conversation, he sips orange juice and smiles as the journalist inquires about his passion for sports, his commitment to Islam, and his past enjoyment of playing the accordion. However, he seldom allows the journalist to interject, speaking in the old-fashioned army-style Swahili of Uganda in the 70s. He gestures frequently and shifts in his seat while emphasizing a point, punctuating his speech with extensive pointing with his right hand. When invoking God's name, he turns his face upwards, a gesture of reverence and devotion. Idi Amin's favorite food and changed lifestyle. I am leading a quiet life and committed to my religion, Islam, and Allah. I don't have problems with anyone, Mr. Amin told the newspaper. Amin claimed that, unlike some African heads of state, he did not flee Uganda with state funds, but I am satisfied with what I am getting and even paying school fees for a number of my orphaned relatives in Uganda and helping needy people, he said. His pastimes included reciting Quranic verses, swimming, fishing in the Red Sea, reading, and watching television, particularly news programs. He said the former president indulges in discussions about food, expressing a preference for Uganda-grown produce. He mentions receiving cassava and millet flour, staples of his diet, from his hometown of Kaboko, with his latest wife receiving matuk from Masaka. These parcels, transported through Nairobi or London, are personally received by Amin at King Abdulaziz International Airport. Having relocated to a more exclusive area, Amin's new residence lies in proximity to powerful oil sheikhs' abodes, about 5 miles from Jeddah's city center. During his ample leisure time, he immerses himself in Quran recitation, reading, and playing his accordion, often singing World War II-era tunes to showcase his enduring voice. Amin also embraces fishing in the Red Sea's bountiful waters near the Saudi-Yemen border, complementing his leisurely activities with swimming and TV watching. With a generous monthly stipend from the Saudi government, he boasts about the 5 satellite dishes adorning his new abode. Engaging in newfound hobbies like fishing, Amin maintains his love for sports, particularly football, boxing, and tennis, avidly following TV sports channels and news programs from CNN, BBC, Saudi TV Channel 1, and other international stations. Fluent in multiple languages including Arabic, English, French, and Lingala, Amin navigates the diverse media landscape with ease. While Amin now favors a white Cadillac for transportation, he reflects on his past enthusiasm for motor rallies, expressing disdain for their potential for accidents. Dismissing the significance of car models, H. Amin and Sarah parted ways over a decade ago. Sarah now resides in London, managing a cafe. Despite living abroad, Amin cherishes memories of Kampala, particularly his favorite nocturnal haunts where he could meet acquaintances discreetly. However, discussions about Uganda evoke a somber demeanor from Amin. He reminisces about former boxing mate Tom Kowara and soccer star Kolibela, expressing his regards for Kowara and lamenting the loss of other former comrades to violence or old age. Regarding his age, Amin remains secretive, disclosing only his birth on Eid Day in January without specifying the year. He dismisses speculation about his age, leaving it to others to make assumptions. Indifferent to conjecture, he states, Shauri yao. Mie saifikiri, it's up to them. I am not bothered. His friends and enemies, the former conqueror of the British Empire, still boasts about his global network of friends, particularly in Arab countries. However, he now steers clear of his former US allies like Louis Farrakhan, leader of the Nation of Islam, due to its anti-American stance. Unlike his past, Amin refrains from negative remarks about America and Britain, not wanting to provoke a superpower. He displays a keen interest in world events, particularly in Uganda and the Great Lakes region. Amin frequently discusses political matters, such as the war in Congo and rebel activities in northern Uganda. He criticizes Uganda's current president, Yoweri Museveni, lamenting the loss of 5 of his houses and warning against insults, threatening to invoke special prayers known as dua for misfortune. Amin denounces corruption, asserting he left Uganda without embezzled funds or foreign business interests. He condemns Ugandan Muslim leaders for misusing mosque construction funds donated by Saudi Arabia's late King Faisal in 1972. Avoiding discussion of the 1979 Liberation War, Amin considers its history and refrains from blaming others for his defeat. He praises his army's valor, particularly the Air Force, in resisting Tanzanian invaders. Despite the army's capacity to devastate Kampala, Amin claims he ordered withdrawal to prevent African casualties. Idi Amin critical condition. In Uganda, the Sunday Monitor revealed that Idi Amin, who ruled from 1971 to 1979, had been receiving treatment for hypertension and fatigue for the last 3 months. Amin's wife, Nalongo Madina Amin, expressed her desire for him to return to Uganda for his final days but was informed by President Yoweri Museveni that Amin must answer for his sins first. During Museveni's presence in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, for a Burundi meeting, his press assistant, Onapito Ikonyoloit, clarified that Amin chose to reside in Saudi Arabia. Ikonyoloit stressed that Amin's return to Uganda depended on his family's decision, emphasizing that any legal matters would be addressed appropriately. Acknowledging Amin's controversial history, Ikonyoloit affirmed his status as a free citizen and highlighted the private nature of his situation. He underscored that Amin's potential return, alive or deceased, rested solely with his family, emphasizing the rule of law in addressing any outstanding issues related to Amin's governance. Everyone knows he has a past. If he has any case to answer, it will be dealt with according to the law, Ikonyoloit said. He's a free citizen. It's a private matter between Amin and his family whether they want to bring him back alive or dead. Amin's encounter with a doctor he chased from Uganda. When I saw him being wheeled into my unit, it hit me that, oh, my God. This is Idi Amin Dada, she recalled. I was very frightened. It felt like everything rushed back at once. I was so scared. My heart was pounding. And I said, oh my God. This is the monster of my childhood. She noted that he appeared very sick and required 4 liters of fluids to stabilize his condition. And that's what we did. Before the ICU personnel intervened, Makwana had a brief moment alone with Amin, who pleaded with her, please help me. I'm a very sick man, she recalls him saying. And I said, yes, sir, we will help you. However, she also felt compelled to confront him. I had just a few moments, a very few, maybe not even a couple of minutes, to tell him that I'm one of those Ugandan Asians he had expelled. What neighbors said about him. In the Al-Safa district, residents had an unexpected neighbor. The former Ugandan president, Idi Amin. Despite his notorious reputation, neighbors described him as reserved, spending most of his time indoors. However, when they interacted, he exhibited kindness and politeness, leaving a positive impression. Amin's devoutness was evident as he frequented the Al-Shakrin Mosque for prayers, drawing attention due to his imposing stature. Bashir Okba, a grocery store clerk, observed Amin's occasional melancholy demeanor but noted his brightened spirits after mosque visits, yet Amin's decline became apparent when he ceased mosque attendance and news spread of his critical illness. To many, including Okba, the revelation of Amin's true identity came as a surprise. Contrasting with the gentle neighbor they knew, Nasir Hamdan, grappling with Amin's dark legacy, struggled to reconcile reports of his brutal dictatorship with the devout, kind-hearted individual he witnessed. Despite Amin's past transgressions, Hamdan expressed hope for divine forgiveness, emphasizing Amin's dedication to prayer and the Quran. The dichotomy between Amin's public image and private demeanor underscores the complexities of human nature and the multifaceted perspectives that shape our understanding of individuals, even those with infamous histories.